Hello, everyone. Our topic for today is analysis and design of reinforced concrete slab. First, before we proceed in the designing of our reinforced concrete slab, let's define ano ba yung concrete slab. A concrete slab typically has a uniform thickness, serves as a structural element for flooring or roofing. A slab on ground is supported directly on the subsoil and typically incorporates reinforcements such as reinforcing bars or welded wire mesh. If we say slab on ground, so this is the slab that we see in the ground floor of a structures. So as we know already that structures always build in the ground or in the soil, therefore, our slab on ground is supported by the subsoil. Then, meanwhile, a suspended slab, also known as the structural slab, bridges between supports, beams, column, or walls, and requires reinforcement to withstand calculated bending moments derived from load magnitude and span consideration. So these type of slabs are typically we saw in structures that is located in the second floor and above. So they are supported by beams, columns, or walls, or any supporting elements of the structures. Varieties of slab types include one-way slabs, two-way slabs, waffle slabs, flat plates, flat slabs, and numerous others. So next is there are two major categories of your slab based on the forces transfer dun sa ating slab or from the slab papunta sa beam. And it occurs either in one way or two ways. So it is based on the geometrical dimensions of your slab. Slab may be supported by columns only, and in this case, two-way action will prevail. So the load transfer mechanism from floor slab to supporting elements are shown in the figure. So this is basically the load transfer or the first transfer from slab to the beam. Take note, the support of your slab is the beam. Hindi siya katulad ng ibang type na supported by only columns. Now, we're considering first, in this case, that your slab is supported by beams. So, on the left side, in the figure natin, this is one-way slab. So, it means this half portion of your slab will be transferred papunta sa taas na beam and yung other half papunta sa lower part na beam natin, ng slab. So, take note, let's say, etong dimension ng slab natin, meron tayong dimension na L, that is the longer side of your slab, and then, yung S naman is the shorter side. So, yung transfer ng load natin, laging papunta dun sa longer side. Hindi pwedeng mangyari, yung load natin is nata-transfer papunta sa shorter side. So, yan yung ating one-way slab. On the right side, considering also the dimension of your slab is S times L, shorter times longer side, and there are two-way action or the transfer of load from your slab papunta sa beam. So there are two shapes involved in two-way action in our two-way slab. So first is yung triangular. Itong triangular loadings natin, itong nakita natin. Yung triangular portion kung saan matatransfer yung load natin papunta sa beam, actually, they are going to shorter side. So yan yung laging case. Yung triangular portion ng slab natin will be transferred papunta sa shorter side. And yung trapezoidal shape naman will transfer papunta sa longer side ng ating slab. Okay? So, hindi pwede magkapalit yan. Yung triangular, papunta sa shorter, and yung trapezoidal, papunta sa longer side. So, yan yung ating load mechanism or load transfer mechanism from the floor slab papunta sa ating mga supporting elements, especially yung sa beam natin. Now, there are ways to determine if the slab is one-way or two-way. So, it depends on the geometrical dimension of your slab. So, sabihin natin if L over S or let's say longer side divided by the shorter side, and if the value is greater than 2.0, that is considered as one-way slab. In other case, it is considered as two-way slab. So again, yung L is the longer side of the slab and then S the shorter side of the slab. So let's have a brief example of determining the slab if it is one-way or two-way. So let's say we have here a slab, and then this is supported by beam, and then four columns on the corner. And let's say this side, this longer side, is measured, let's say 4.5 meters. And this shorter side has a width of, let's say, 3.0 meters. So, first is determine natin what is the value of L over S. L is just the longer side dimension of your slab. So, yung longer side natin is yung 4.5 divided by yung shorter side natin na 3.0. So, the value of this L over S or this ratio is equivalent to 4.5 divided by 3 is equivalent to 1.5. So we can say that this value is less than to your 2.0. So therefore, yung slab natin is considered as two-way slab. Okay, so ganyan natin siya dinedetermine. And about this load transfer dun sa ating from the slab papunta sa beam is ganito. Again, triangular sa ating shorter side. And trapezoidal naman papunta sa longer side. Okay? So this is what we call our two-way slab. So very simple yung ating pag-determine kung one-way or two-way. So after knowing this, then I think we can proceed now with the designing of our slab. So pag design natin yung slab, there is a difference between the two. Do sa one-way natin and then two-way. So we will start in the designing of one-way slab. Analysis and design of one-way slab. In the analysis and design of one-way slab, first is we need to determine the minimum slab thickness. In determining the slab thickness or the minimum slab thickness, it is under the NSCP 2015. So we are following this code since this is the most recent code that we are using here in the Philippines. For the solid non-prestressed slab not supporting or attached to partitions or other constructions likely to be damaged by large deflections. So here is the minimum value of our slab thickness, and it is based from the support condition. First is we have what we call the simply supported, and the other one is one and continuous. Next is both and continuous and cantilever. So these values is applicable for normal weight concrete, and Fy is 420 megapascal. For Fy, other than 420 megapascal, the expression in the table shall be multiplied by 0.4 plus Fy divided by 700. Here is the general steps in designing of one-way slab. So number one, first is we need to compute the designing moment or MU. This will be the most important parameter that we need to compute para makapag-design tayo ng ng ating slab. Of course, kasi if we don't have the moment, then we cannot design yung ating slab. And after that, we need to compute the required flexural resistance factor, RU. Then assuming ating reduction factor of equivalent to 0.9. So yung RU natin, yung formula niya is MU over PBD squared. So yung B, that's the width of the slab, assuming that we are considering a 1 meter strip. Because yung ating slab is, yung dimension niya, hindi naman laging 1 meter or it depends on the shape or depends on the dimension ng ating slab. But if we are designing, we need to assume 1 meter strip. Then, D is the effective depth of our slab. The next, after determining the flexural resistance factor, we need to calculate now the required reinforcement steel ratio or yung raw required na tinatawag natin. So yung raw required, that is equivalent to 0.85 FC prime divided by Fy multiplied by 1 minus square root of 1 minus 2 Ru divided by 0.85 FC prime. Then after that, compute the required area of reinforcement or yung AS required natin. AS required can be computed by multiplying yung raw required times yung ating width times the effective depth ng ating slab. Then, compute the minimum area of reinforcement, AS minimum. So, ang AS minimum natin for one-way slab ay it depends on the type of reinforcement na gagamitin natin and also the value of your Fy. If Fy is less than 420 megapascal and we're using a deformed bar, so yung AS minimum natin ay 0.0020 times Ag o yung gross area ng ating slab. Considering K for gross area of your slab, we will consider, no? We will consider 1 meter strip pa rin. Then, for the form bar or welded wire reinforcement, or let's say greater than a stress of 420 megapascal, so there are two AS minimum, and kung yung mas malaki sa kanila, yun yung mag-govern as minimum reinforcement. So yung AS minimum, yung una, that is 0.0018 times 420 megapascal times Ag divided by Fy, and other one is 0.001480. So if AS required is greater than the AS minimum, then we will use the AS required. Otherwise, use AS minimum. Then after determining the area of reinforcement, then we will compute now for the spacing ng ating reinforcement. So to compute the reinforcing or the reinforcement spacing, that is A bar over AS required, then multiply by 1,000. Then after determining the spacing, we can round off your value. Actually, not round off, let's say round down to nearest 10 mm or 5 mm. But it depends on your preference. Hindi naman dyan mahigpit or hindi naman dyan complicated when we are trying to round off yung mga value ng spacing natin. Again, as a designer, kung kayo yung magde-design, nasa sa inyo pa rin kung ano yung tingin nyo mas safe. So commonly naman ginagawa is nearest 10 mm lang or no, nearest 5 mm or yung iba, sinasakto na nila na nearest 50 mm, yung pinakamalapit na kagad. As long as it is safe and kaya niyang i-sustain yung load na kanyang kine-carry. Then after that, check natin yung spacing requirement. So there are minimum spacing requirement. So ang purpose nito is to ensure that yung ating aggregates ay lumusot pagka nagbubuhos tayo. Kasi baka mamaya sobrang masinsin na yung ating bakal, so baka hindi na magkasya yung ating aggregate. So to check if yung ating spacing of your reinforcement kaya na lumusot yung mga aggregates, so ito yung ating parameters. So yung una is 25 mm, then DB, that is the mean bar diameter. Then yung 4/3 times the diameter of aggregate or the maximum aggregate size. The next, of course, there is a maximum spacing. So kailangan ito to make sure that yung ating reinforcement can do its purpose. Kasi kapag masyadong malalayo na yung spacing natin, baka mamaya hindi niya na ma-perform yung kanyang purpose na to support yung ating movement or to prevent yung failure ng ating concrete due to tension. And we know naman already that if a reinforced concrete is subjected to a movement, so magbe-bend siya, so there is a compression and tension side. Kapag nasa tension yung ating concrete, so nag-feel siya kasi mahina nga ang ating concrete due to tension. And to ensure that your reinforcement can do its purpose, so there's a maximum spacing. So S-max shall be lesser of for one-way slab, 3H, and for 150 mm. So yan yung ating way to determine the required spacing natin. But aside from that, since yung ating reinforcement is along with the direction of your bending ng ating slab. So how about yung longitudinal naman or that is parallel to your longer side? So we need to provide a minimum shrinkage and temperature reinforcement. So this reinforcement is provided perpendicular to the main reinforcement of one-way slab. Minimum ratios of the form shrinkage and temperature reinforcement area to gross concrete area. So actually, these are the same dun sa ating minimum reinforcement requirement dun sa ating one-way slab. So commonly naman talaga, minimum lang yung ginagamit natin for shrinkage and temperature, not unless we conduct analysis dun sa ating longitudinal direction ng ating one-way slab. But commonly, hindi naman talaga nangyayari yan. So we will provide minimum reinforcement na lang. So it depends on the diameter of your reinforcing steel bar. Then doon natin malaman kung ano yung required spacing din. So after determining the minimum requirement of your reinforcement, then we will check yung kanyang spacing. And the computation of the spacing will be the same doon sa previous na uh, criteria natin. Katulad dun sa mean bar reinforcement. So aside from that, aside from the designing of one-way slab, we will consider this one to simplify yung ating calculation of your designing moment. Kasi it is very hard to compute yung ating mga moment kapag pinag-uusapan is slab. Especially if yung ating slab ay, um, let's say, halos pare-pareho naman ang dimension but there's a very small discrepancy between the width of your slab and magkakatabi naman sila. So, kung i-analyze pa natin siya in a way that we need to compute them based on uh, the analysis that we learn from theory of structures, so magiging tedious siya and very difficult. So NSCP provide us a simplified and approximate method of analysis of continuous beam and one-way slab. So this is the requirement or the rules of using the NSCP coefficient method for continuous one-way slab. So ang gagawin natin pag-design dito is more on a continuous one-way slab. So it shall be permitted to calculate yung MU natin due to gravity load. Yung mga gravity load natin, ang tinutukoy dito is yung dalawa naman yan, that is your dead load and yung ating live load. So instead of using analysis of continuous beam na natutunan natin sa theory of structures, so ito na lang yung gagamitin natin. But make sure that yung mga rules is will satisfy before we conduct this NSCP coefficient method. First one is members are prismatic or let's say uniform ang kanilang thickness. Pag hindi uniform ang thickness, so we cannot use this NSCP coefficient. Number two, those are uniformly distributed or commonly pare-pareho lang sila. Hindi pwedeng iba-iba. Then, pangatlo, yung ating live load should be less than or equal to 3 times yung ating dead load. Hindi pwedeng sa masyadong malaki yung live load natin. So, magbibigay siya ng ibang value or magiging masyadong maliit yung ating designing no kapag nag-coefficient method lang tayo. Lalo na pagka sobrang laki ng ating live load. So, mayroon tayong limit lang. Then, fourth one, that there are at least 2 spans. So, hindi pwedeng 1 span lang. So, 2 span ang to-consider natin. Then, the longer of the two adjacent span does not exceed the shorter by 20%. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito is hindi pwede masyadong magkakalayo yung value ng width ng ating mga span. So, let's say, meron tayo ditong span of one-way slab. So, let's say, ito 2 span siya. So, yung width, let's say, this is 3.1 and then this is 3.0 meters. So, ang tinutukoy nito, dapat yung itong adjacent span, hindi dapat masyadong magkakalayo. Or let's say, halimbawa, yung longer side natin should not be greater than, or let's say, no, less than na kagad, no? Less than or equal to 1.2 of the shorter side or shorter dimension ng ating span. So let's say, yung L natin dito is 3.1. Then we will check na kung talagang less than, no? Less than sa or shorter by 20% yung ating shorter side. So ito naman ay 1.2 times yung ating 3 meters. Okay? So let's see. Yung ating 1.2 times 3. So ito ay 3.1. Tapos this is less than talaga na to 3.6. So okay ito, no? Ibig sabihin, pasado siya. Pagka masyadong malayo na yung range natin, so we cannot consider yung ating NSCP coefficient. Okay? So, ganyan ang ating way to determine kung pwede natin gamitin ang NSCP coefficient or hindi. Then, here is the NSCP coefficients na gagamitin natin in calculating yung ating MU due to gravity loads. So, in accordance with table 406.5.2 of NSCP coefficient, NSCP 2015, so there are two categories muna for the moment. So, meron tayong tinatawag na positive and negative movement. So, alam naman natin in continuous beam, so the possibility of yung ating moment is ganito. Para siyang curtain. So, meron tayong positive na tinatawag and meron tayong negative moment. So, in calculating, first, nasa positive moment, meron tayong dalawang kinoconsider na location, end span and interior span. Pagka sinabi nating end span, siya yung nasa uh, outermost uh, outermost side ng ating continuous slab. So, for example, if I add one more slab here, so let's say A, B, C, and then D. So, we can say that yung mga end span natin dito, no, yung end span, that is yung span AB and CD. So, sila yung nasa outermost side, no? So, itong AB and itong ating CD. So, therefore, yung BC naman natin, no? Yung BCI, interior span na siya. So, based from the condition of their support, so, pagka end span, kasi sa end span lang naman yung merong two criteria about the condition of the support. Una muna is discontinuous and integral with support. So, ibig sabihin, kumbaga, kasi sabi kasing integral is connected, no? There's a connection between the support and yung ating slab based on their reinforcement. So, yung ibig sabihin niya na yung pagiging integral. So, kapag ganun yung ating design, so most probably ganun naman ang design natin. They are integral with the support. So, yung ating slab is supported by the beam and yung ating reinforcement naman is uh, pinapakain doon sa ating beam. So therefore, we will consider that that is integral with support. But pagka sinabing unrestrained, so there is no connection between the support and yung ating end span. So therefore, yung gagamitin natin kapag integral with support is WL squared divided by 14. Pagka unrestrained naman ay over 11. Then, pagka-interior span, sa lahat na yun, lahat na ng span, yung formula ng positive moment is WL squared over 16. Okay, next is dito tayo sa negative. Sa negative, maraming condition about the location. So meron tayong tinatawag na interior face of exterior support. So sinasabi natin dito, no, yung exterior support muna. Ang exterior support natin, lagay natin dito is yung exterior support. Pagka sa exterior support, so parang exterior span or end span lang siya. So yung pinakadulo. So yung mga exterior support natin is yung A and yung D natin. So yung dulo-dulo. So yung interior face of the support, ito yung tinutukoy dyan, no? So yung ito. Okay? That is the interior face na tinatawag. So yung moment dito. So there are two criteria pa rin based on the condition. So kapag supporting by spandrel beam, edi double L squared over 24. Pero kung column naman nagsusupport, so double L squared over 16. So it based from the plan ng ating slab. So commonly naman, ang ating slab is carrying by or supporting by mga beams natin. Okay, next. Meron tayong tinatawag na exterior face of the first interior support. So yung sinasabing first interior support, ito yon yung kasunod ng A and then B natin. So ito yung mga interior support natin, B and C. So sabi dito, exterior face. So yung kasi sinabi exterior face, ito yung meron kasi tayong dalawang side at point B. Ito yung exterior face, ito yung naman yung interior face. On point C naman, ito yung exterior face natin and ito yung interior face. So ano yung difference between the two? Exterior face natin is na dun sa side kung saan nasa end span. Ganun din sa kabilang side, sa exterior face ng ating support B. Yung interior naman, ito, loob naman, no? Yun yung difference between the two. That is for the first interior support natin. So, kapag ka 2 span naman, WL squared over 9. Pero kapag ka more than 2 span, automatically, they are WL squared over 10. Then, face of the other support, sa lahat na yan side, no? Kahit ano na yan, lahat na namang interior, no? They are WL squared over 11. And then, there are another criteria for the location. Face of all supports, no? Satisfying A or B. So, ito naman ay may kinalaman about the dimension and the stiffness of your columns and beams. Kapag basta isa lang dyan mag-satisfy, halimbawa, slabs with span not exceeding 3 meters, we can consider this as WL squared over 12 as the value of your MU. Then beams where ratio of the sum of the column stiffness to beam stiffness exceeds 8 at each end of span. So, commonly, hindi natin masyadong i-apply yan. Yung mga basic formula lang muna yung gagamitin natin. Then, there's a note for your negative moment na ito. So, sabi dito sa baba, yung note, to calculate the negative moments, yung Ln shall be the average of the adjacent clear span length. So, ang tinutukoy dyan kapag ka nagko-compute tayo ng mga negative moments. So, halimbawa, dito kasi at point B, so there are two moments na involved. So, yung gagamitin natin na Ln, kasi hindi natin sure kung ano yung Ln na tinutukoy dyan. So, ang gagawin natin is, yung span AB, yung length dito, yung L1 plus L2. Kukunin natin yung average, so yung Ln na gagamitin dito ay L1 plus L2, L2 over 2. So, i-average lang natin yan. So, yan yung tinutukoy na Ln. Then, uh, yung moments calculated based from this table, hindi na kailangan i-redistribute. So, hindi na natin siya kailangan i-recalculate pa. So, as is na yan. So, yung makapit nating moment dyan, yun na yung gagamitin nating pang-design sa ating slab. And afterwards, pwede naman tayo mag-compute ng ating shear due to gravity loads, no, para sa ating continuous one-way slab. Pero commonly naman kasi, pagka one-way slab naman, pasado naman na sa shear. Kumbaga, concrete alone can support yung ating shearing. Kasi maliit lang naman ang loadings, no? Pagka sa slab. Pero pagka mga continuous beam, talagang required ito, no? Pwede natin itong gamitin for continuous beam. Pero since nag-uusapan naman natin ay one-way slab, ito na yun, no? Ito yung gagamitin natin. Pero if you want to check kung talagang pasado siya sa shearing, then use this one, yung ating computation ng approximate shear. So, dalawa lang naman yung criteria dito, depende sa location. Una muna is exterior face of the first interior support, 1.15 WL over 2. Pero the face of all other support, automatically WL over 2 lang. So, yun, no? Yan lang yung ating mga coefficient method or yung mga coefficient na pwede natin gamitin para sa pag-compute ng ating mga designing moments natin. And para sa shear din. Okay, let's have an example problem in design of one-way slab. So design a one-way slab based on the figure shown. Here is the figure on the next slide. Okay. The slab is first floor of an office building having a live load of 4.8 kPa. It is estimated that the thickness of the slab is 125 mm and will carry as follows. Ceiling system, that is 0.50 kPa. Interior wall partition, that is 2.1 kPa. Floor finishes, 0.05 kPa. Then assume FC prime, that is 108 megapascal, and Fy is 415 megapascal. Beam dimension is 300 mm by 500 mm. So let's take a look sa ating floor plan. As you can see, there is a this consists of many slabs. Let's name it as S1, slab 1, slab 2, slab 3, and slab 4. And let's create a grid here, naming grid A, or let's say grid B, or let's say grid 1 na lang. That is a conventional way of naming the grids of the framing of our floor plan. This is your grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, and grade 5. And let's say this is your grade A, and this is grade B. Okay, so first is we need to determine if it is really one-way slab or two-way slab. So as you can see here, S1, S2, S3, S4 have the same dimension. So yung slab natin has a shorter side of equivalent of 2.4 meters or mm. Then for its longer side, it's equivalent to 5.5 meters. So to determine if it's one-way slab or two-way slab, let's check the value of L over S. Yung L natin is 5.5 divided by yung S natin na 2.5. So let's see if it is one-way slab or two-way. The value here is 2.29. So that is greater than the 2.0. So therefore, this is one-way slab talaga. Okay, next is, ang goal natin is to create a 1-meter strip. Kasi yun yung ating magiging basis how to design yung ating one-way slab. So we will create a 1-meter strip that is parallel, no? Parallel to shorter side. And since yung ating slab is a continuous one-way slab, so ganito siya. So mag-create tayo dito ng 1-meter strip. Okay, and 1. So this is your 1 meter strip. Since this is a continuous beam, so as you can see here in our floor plan, ito yung para magiging beam natin. This is a, let's say, the top view of your beam. So if we try to draw it into a continuous one-way slab, so ganito mag-itsura niya. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So ito yung 2.4, 2.4, 2.4, and 2.4. And ito yung frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, and frame 5. So ganyan yung magiging longitudinal section niya, yung kanyang elevation, no? Let's say elevation view, para mas maintindihan natin. Okay? Next, given tayo of a thickness of slab that is 125 mm. So, check muna natin kung papasa siya sa minimum slab thickness. So, sa minimum slab thickness, let's go back dun sa ating criteria for the minimum slab thickness. Here is the condition for your minimum slab thickness. So, meron tayong simply supported. So, first is, hindi na natin to pwede consider as simply supported kasi nga siya ay continuous one-way slab. Hindi rin cantilever. So, meron tayo dito ang dalawang criteria. One end continuous and both end continuous. So, we need to determine alin dyan yung one end continuous and then both end continuous. So, balik tayo dito sa ating slab. Paano natin nalalaman kung siya ay one end continuous or both end continuous? Sa ganito lang yan, assuming this is your S1 or first span, S2, S3, and S4. So, pag sabing one end continuous, siya ay may katabing slab on one side. Pagka both end continuous, meron siyang slab on both sides. Halimbawa, let's say, let's consider yung ating slab number 1. Wala siya dito, katabing slab, pero meron siya dito sa kabilang side. So therefore, that is one end continuous. Ganun lang kasimple. The next, For S3 naman, meron siyang katabing slab dito and meron siyang katabing slab dito. Ito yung one end. And ito naman ay both ends. So, ganun lang natin siya i-determine. So, as you can see, there are two criteria dito uh, sa ating slab, continuous slab. So, we need to consider yung two conditions. So, yung ating one end, ito yung S1 and S4. So, dalawa, no? Dalawa yung ating one end continuous. Tsaka, sa both end naman, dalawa din, no? Both end. S2 and S3 naman. So, sabi natin, yung formula natin ay, balik tayo doon ulit sa code. Ang sabi natin, kapag one end continuous, that is L over 24, and then both end naman ay L over 28. Then, sabi sa atin, this is applicable kapag ka Fy natin ay 420 megapascal. If you remember, yung ating Fy ay 450. So, other than 420. So, dito tayo pupunta. So, we need to multiply yung ating formula na to by this factor. Punta tayo dito. Balik tayo dito sa ating calculation. Sabi natin yung minimum H dito, that is equivalent to L over 24. But, since yung ating Fy natin no, ay 415 megapascal lang, ay mumultiply natin siya by 0.4 plus Fy over 700. So, dito naman sa both end ay L over 24 or 28 pagka both end naman times 0.4 plus Fy over 700. Okay, next. Ano yung gagamitin nating L dyan? Yung L dyan na gagamitin natin ay, ito ay clear span of the slab. So as you can see here, yung ating S1, S4, S2, S3 ay pare-pareho lang naman ng span. Yung span na tinutukoy is yung shorter side yan, ha? So lagyan natin na shorter side. Since pare-pareho lang naman yan, then we can compute yung ating clear span, no? Of all our slab. So, ganito ang pag-compute niyan. So, as you can see here, ang ating dimension is center to center of the beam. So, dito siya sa center. Ang kailangan natin makuha is yung span natin dito, no? Yung from the face of your beam support. So, ibig sabihin, we need to deduct. We need to deduct itong kalahati ng ating beam on both sides. So, therefore, yung ating clear span, since, again, pare-pareho yung span natin ng shorter side, no? Yung ating center to center distance, that is 2.4 meters, di ba? Then, minus yung kalahati ng beam natin. Saan ba yun? Di ba may given tayo na beam dimension sa ating problem? So, yung cross-section na daw niya is 300 mm by 500 mm. Kung titingnan natin yung floor plan, ito yung tinutukoy na 300 mm. That is the width of your slab. So, kung gagawin natin is kukunin natin yung clear span. So, ima-minus natin yung dalawang, no? Dalawang half. Dalawang kalahati. Kasi center to center ito, di ba? Half ito. Then, on the other side ay half lang din. So, 2 times half. So, yung width ng beam natin is 0.3 meters, no? Converted na siya, ha? Kasi 300 mm, yung ating beam dimension converted into 0.3 meters. So, therefore, divided by 2. Again, no? Two sides kasi, yung half, kaya ganyan. Pero to simplify, pwede nyo naman i-cancel yung 2. So, just simply minus yung ating half width or yung width ng ating beam. Pero for the sake of the correct calculation, ganito yung gagawin natin. So, therefore, yung ating clear span of the slab, that is 2.4 minus 2 times 0.3 divided by 2. So, that is equivalent to 2.10 meters. So, ito yung gagamitin natin, no? for one end and both end. How about, sir, kapag magkakaiba yung kanilang width? So, magandang gawin dyan is use, no? If, lagyan natin ng note, if the center to center span are not uniform or same, so use the higher value. Because higher value will give us a higher value of minimum. Kasi nga, yun ang gusto natin makuha, yung minimum slab thickness. So let's check if papasa kaya siya or hindi. So one end muna tayo. Compute natin yung one end. So that is equivalent to, yung H natin is 2, let's say gawin natin siyang mm. 1 divided by 24 times 0.4 plus 415 divided by 700. So the value of the minimum thickness for one way is 1 divided by 24. Uh, ito ay 86.875 mm. So very small lang, no? Minimum ito ha. Pero as you can see, here yung ating thickness, yung ating actual thickness is 125. So minimum ito. So possible na pwede yan, no? Yung 125. Check naman natin yung both end. Baka sa both end naman magkatalo, no? Divided by 28.4 plus 700. Let's see if there's some changes with the value. So this is 74.464 mm. So yung mag-govern sa atin na minimum dito, since dalawa yung value na minimum natin, ay yung pinakamataas. Mag-govern itong higher value. So therefore, lalagyan natin na yung minimum slab thickness is equivalent sa 86.875. And this is less than naman dun uh, uh, sa thickness. Thickness. Yung given na thickness ng slab natin. So wala naman tayong problema about sa thickness of slab yung given. Ito ay 125. So therefore, no, lagi natin, no, slab thickness, yung given, no, is adequate. Yung lagi natin, is adequate. Okay? So next, after natin dito sa pag-determine kung adequate ba yung thickness ng slab natin, then we can proceed now in the designing, no? Designing of one-way slab. Okay, in the designing of one-way slab, first is, ano yung unang step natin? We need to compute designing moment. MU. Since we're dealing with a continuous, we're dealing with continuous one-way slab. So let's draw one-way or continuous one-way slab. Or para maganda ay, yan, drawing natin. So sabi natin, this is here S1. S2, S3, and S4. This is your grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, and grade 5. Next, yung kanilang dimension, lagay natin. This is 2.4, 2.4, 2.4, 2.4. That is center to center. Pero yung kanilang clear span, that is 2.1. So ito yung gagamitin kasi natin pag-compute din ng ating designing yung ating clear span, hindi yung center to center. So this is just a guide para alam natin kung ano yung pinocompute natin. Next is ito-draw natin yung ating moment diagram. Ang gagamitin natin is NSCP coefficient. Ngayon, paano natin nasabi na pwede natin gamitin yung NSCP coefficient? Una muna ay pare-pareho naman siguro yung span nila. Pero di pa natin check yung iba di ba? Una, prismatic, okay. Pare-pareho yung span, okay. Di naman, wala namang longer side, walang shorter side sa ating span. So, ang last na check na lang natin is yung ating dead load and live load. So, but for now, drawing muna natin ating moment diagram. Assuming that yung ating beam is yung ating end support ay integral, no? Built integrally with our support. So, ganyan yung ating magiging moment diagram. Adjust lang natin para hindi para maganda yung tsura ng ating moment diagram. So, ilalagay natin dito lahat ng ating diagram. Yung ating mga moments. So, use natin dito. Yan. And this one. And this one. Okay. So, ito yung ating moment diagram and pupunta na tayo dito, no? Doon sa ating coefficients. So, first is magpa-positive muna tayo, no? Positive moment. So, pagka-end span daw, and sabi natin that is discontinuous and integral with the support. Commonly naman, ganun talaga yung ginagamit. And di naman binanggit na unrestrained. Pagka binanggit naman na unrestrained, so yun ang gagamitin natin. But in this case, ito yung gamitin natin. WL squared over 13. So, punta tayo dito. Lagay lang natin dito ay WL squared over. So, ganun din dito. WL squared over 13. Positive yan ha. And then, yung sa mga interior spans naman, that is WL squared over 16. Positive moment pa lang yan ha. Positive moment. WL squared over 16. Then, this, also this one, WL squared over 16. Next. Negative moment naman tayo. So, una muna, interior face of the exterior support. So, ito yung una. So, that is integrally with supporting spandrel beam. So, commonly, beam naman yung ating support, no? So, assuming that beam yung support natin, so WL squared over 24 yung gamitin natin. So, ito yan, no? WL squared over 24. WL squared over 24. So, yan, ha? Pareho naman yung exterior support. Next. Sabi naman dito, yung exterior face of the first interior support, 2 span more than 2 span. So, more than 2 span tayo. So, WL squared over 10. Lagyan natin, no? Ito yan. So, dito sa side na to, WL squared over 10. And WL squared over 10. Next. Face of other support, so WL squared over 11. So, lahat na yan, no? The rest. Tayo dito. May WL squared over 11. WL squared over 11. WL squared over 11. WL squared over 11. So, yan. Ito na yung magiging pinaka-formula natin, no? Sa pag-compute ng ating designing moment. So, ang gagawin natin, pipili tayo ng maximum positive and maximum negative moment. Then, yun yung pag-design natin. But first, no, compute muna natin para mas maganda is compute muna natin yung ating W. Kasi wala pa tayong W. Saan ba makukuha yung W natin? Okay? So, W, no, yung W natin, let's say WU, that is a factored, no? Uh, Factored load. So, makukuha yan by multiplying yung capital W natin times 1.0. So, ito yung 1 meter strip na tinutukoy ito, no? 1 meter strip. Ito naman ay tinatawag nating pressure load. Ito yung mga given loads kanina sa ating problem. So, we need to compute yung capital W natin. So, para mo compute to, so, mayroon tayong load combination, no? Ng W dead load plus 1.6 of W live load. Since ang given naman sa atin ay dead load and live load. So, yan yung load combination. So, to compute muna, yung dead load muna natin. So, balikan natin yung problem. Sabi dito, slab is first floor office building. May live load tayo, 4.8 na, given na kagad. Then, yung slab natin carrying ceiling system, interior wall partition, and floor finishes. So, i-include natin yan. So, lagay natin, dito ay 0.5 plus 2.1 and 0.05. 2.1 plus 0.05. Then, plus yung self-weight. Of course, yung ating slab ay may self-weight. So, paano ba natin kino-compute yung self-weight ng ating slab? So, ganito natin siya kino-compute in terms of pressure load, ha? So, that is gamma of concrete times yung thickness of slab. Assuming that yung ating unit weight of concrete, that is 23.5 kilonewton per cubic meter for concrete, then multiply by thickness of slab. Ang thickness ng slab natin ay 125 mm. So, divided by 1,000 na lang as a conversion factor. So, yung value ng ating salt weight ay 2.9375 kPa. So, substituting itong value ng ating salt weight ng slab, okay? Lagay natin dito, 2.9375. So, yung ating WDL ay, o yung ating pressure load ng dead load ay equivalent to 0.5 plus 2.1 so ay 5.5875 kPa. So, meron tayong W dead load and given tayo ng W live load natin. Yung W live load, sabi naman ay 4.8 kP. So, after this, we can compute now for your factor W, yung pressure load. So, that is 1.2 times 5.5875 plus 1.6 of 4.8. So therefore, yung ating factored pressure load is 14.385 kPa. So ito yung gagamitin natin pang-compute ng ating WU na gagamitin natin. So yung WU naman, sabi natin that is WU times 1.0. So i-convert kasi natin yung ating pressure load into a uniform load. So since ang consideration natin sa pag-design ng one-way slab ay 1 meter strip, kaya i-multiply natin by 1 meter. So to remove yung isa yung pagiging kPa ng ating pressure load times 1.0. So, actually, yan na rin naman yung value that is 14.385 kilonewton per meter. So, ito yung gagamitin natin na pang-design ng ating slab. Right? But before we continue, sabi natin, we will make sure that para gamitin natin yung NSCP coefficient, yung L natin, yung live load should be less than or equal to 3D. So as you can see, 4.8 lang naman yung live load and yung dead load natin ay 5.5875. So therefore, this is, check natin, no? Pero obviously, no, laki ng dead load natin. So imposible naman na mag-field na yan. So talagang pwede natin gamitin, no? Yung ating NSCP coefficient. So okay, lagyan natin, okay. NSCP coefficient method. Method can be used. So let's proceed now to compute for the designing moment. So designing moment tayo. Designing moment MU. Sa designing naman, halimbawa, meron kang continuous slab. Ang totoo naman talaga, pwede mo siya i-design sa lahat ng moment na meron tayo. Kaya lang, it is inconvenient. Halimbawa, balikan natin tong ating span. It is inconvenient na kumpitin mo yung MU, lahat ng MU, and then i-design mo siya for every MU. Kumbaga, there's a possibility na iba-iba yung design mo. Hindi pare-pareho yung number of reinforcement, iba-iba yung spacing. So parang ang pangit siyang tingnan and it is inconvenient for the workers or steelman or construction workers to set up those different spacing and different number of reinforcement. So, pinakamagandang gawin is we will consider yung isang maximum moment, no, na positive, max positive moment and max negative moment. Again, this is ang reason lang nito kaya ginagawa natin ito is for the workmanship and then yung sa actual actual na pag-construct ng ating slab. Kasi inconvenient talaga kung i-design mo siya isa-isa. Pero kung gusto mo siya i-design isa-isa, walang problema. Just to compare ano yung mas magiging magandang design ng ating slab. Normally, ganun naman talaga ang ginagawa. Design muna natin lahat muna, then tsaka na tayo mag-consolidate. Ano yung magandang design na pwede natin gamitin para maging uniform? Again, ang hirap pagka iba-iba yung ating spacing, iba-iba yung reinforcement. So, yun yung purpose nito. But in this case, so ganito yung gagawin natin. Kumpitin natin yung ating maximum positive moment and then maximum negative moment. So, ganito. Gawin natin, kumpitin natin lahat ng moments ng positive. So there are two, or let's say apat siya. Kaya lang, ang nangyari lang is, pare-pareho lang kasi yung span natin. So to compute all of the moment for the positive, no? So mag-compute muna tayo ng positive moment. Dito muna tayo. Positive moment. Positive. So yung mga positive moment natin, meron tayong WL squared over 14 and WL squared over 16. So meron na tayong W. Yung W natin ay uniform naman, 14.385. And then yung L natin, yung clear span ang gagamitin natin. Yung clear span ay 2.1. Since pare-pareho lang naman, so wala tayong problema dyan. Then ito naman ay 14.385 times 2.1 squared divided by 16. So yung value ng ating positive moments ay ay 4.531275. That is kilonewton meter. Then, yung isa naman ay 3.9648666 kilonewton meter. So, yung higher value dito, obviously, ay at 4.5 naman. No? So, ito yung gagamitin natin ang design sa positive moment natin. So, next, compute naman tayo ng negative moment. Negative moment naman tayo. So, yung mga negative moments natin ay WL squared over 24. Lagyan natin. Meron din tayong WL squared over 10. Saka WL squared over 11. And WL squared over 11. So, compute natin kung ilan ang moment na ibibigay nito. Yung span natin dito sa end support. So, wala tayong problema, 2.1. In this case naman, no, yung L na gagamitin natin dito kapag yung moment natin is under interior support, so kukunin natin yung average ng adjacent span natin. Kaya lang, since yung adjacent span natin ay pareho lang, so yung L na gagamitin natin ay 2.1 pa rin, no? So kasi nga pareho lang naman yung span. Pagka magkaiba, so kailangan natin kunin yung average. So, let's say, lagyan na rin natin na kunwari nag-compute tayo ng average divided by. Okay? Since pareho lang naman yung span on left and right side of our interior support. Divided by 10. And same scenario also for this moment na pareho lang naman yung span. So, kahit di ka naman mag-average, okay lang. Pero for the sake of the discussion, so lagyan natin ng average. Therefore, yung ating mga moments na mako-compute ay 2.64324. Ito naman ay pababa. 6.343785. And yung isa naman ay 5.767 kilonewton meter. Ay kilonewton meter and kilonewton. So yung ating maximum negative moment ay ito, 6 point. So lagyan natin dito sa taas. Take-note natin 0.5311275 and 6.343785 kilonewton. Okay, so we are done with the first step. Then, compute na tayo ng ating next step. No? Ang compute naman natin, number 2 ay yung ating RU, yung tinatawag nating flexural resistance factor, RU. So yung RU natin, compute natin using this formula. So MU over PB squared. Assuming, no? Assuming reduction factor natin ay 0.9. So, sabi natin, yung B natin dito ay 1 meter strip. So, that is equivalent to 1,000 mm. And the next is yung effective depth natin. The effective depth, pag compute natin effective depth, ganito. Ito yung slab natin. Yung thickness niya ay, that is 125 mm. Then, syempre, maglalatag tayo dito ng reinforcement. So, ito yung reinforcement natin. So, commonly, itong concrete cover natin, concrete cover, ang ginagamit nating concrete cover for slab ay equivalent sa 20 mm. That is a minimum value based from NSE. Then, Sa reinforcement naman, wala tayong given diameter, no? So, lagyan natin ng diameter of reinforcement na gagamitin natin, assuming that diameter of your bar is equivalent to 12 mm. Sa lahat na yan, no? All bars na. All bars. So, kung 12 mm gagamitin natin, so ito ay 12 mm. So, sabi natin yung effective depth, that is the distance of your tension reinforcement or yung reinforcement natin from the stream compression fiber of your concrete. From here hanggang sa center ng ating reinforcement. Okay? So, that is your effective depth. So, to compute now, effective depth D, that's equivalent to 125 minus 20 for your concrete cover minus kalahati ng ating reinforcing bar. So, that is equivalent sa 99 mm. So, ito yung gagamitin natin for effective. Next, kumpitin naman natin yung ating flexural resistance factor, RU. So, dalawa yung ating resistance factor. So, sabay na natin kumpitin. Ito yung sa positive. And then, meron tayo dito for negative. The positive, RU, that's equivalent to yung negative moment natin, positive moment is 4.531275. 75, tama ba? Okay? Then times 10 raised to 6, conversion yan para maging Newton mm divided by 0.9 times yung width natin na 1,000 mm times yung D natin na 99 squared. For negative moment naman, that is 6.343, 785 times 10 raised to 6 divided by 0.9 times 1,000 times 99 squared. So, yung area natin dito ay 0.51369.758. Okay, and sa isa naman, ito ay 0.7191766. Ito na yung RE natin. Okay? So actually, step number 3 na pala itong RE. Or step number 2, tama. Step number 2. Next, step number 3 ay magko-compute na tayo na ating raw required, no? Yung raw required natin can be computed using this formula. 0.85 FC prime over Fy times 1 minus square root of 1 minus 2 RU 2 RU over 0.85 FC prime. So, dalawa. Sabay natin kupitin for positive. And meron tayo dito for negative. So, yung raw required for positive is equivalent to 0.85. FC prime natin ay, is on the given ay FC prime. Yeah. FC prime natin ay 28 megapascal. Fy 415. Over 415 multiplied by 1 minus square root of 1 minus 2 times yung RU natin sa positive ay 0.51369,758 divided by 0.85 FC prime. Then for negative naman, is 0.85 FC prime over Fy times 1 minus square root of 1 minus 2 times 0.71 1766 divided by 0.85 times 28. Okay? So therefore, yung raw required natin ay ito ay uh, 0.00125148. And yung isa naman ay ito ay 0.00175996. Okay? So meron na tayo na complete na required on both positive and negative. And then we can compute now, step number 4, yung ating AS required. Ang AS required natin can be computed using raw required times BD. So, raw required dito is 0.00125148 multiply by, yung B natin ay 1,000 and then yung effective depth natin ay 99. So, in this case, this is for positive. And then, ito naman ay para sa negative. AS required. Then AS required. 0.00175,996 times 1,000 times 99. Okay, so therefore, yung value natin ay ay 71198.4834. And then, isa naman ay masyado malaki yung value. Okay? So, hindi yan. Yan mali yung ating answer. Times 0.00125,148 ay 123 lang. Imposible naman 7,000. 89,652. This is mm squared. And then, isa naman ay 174.23604 mm squared. Okay, so meron tayong AS required. Then, check natin siya sa minimum reinforcement. So, number 5, minimum reinforcement. Okay? So, minimum reinforcement tayo. So, yung minimum reinforcement will govern on both positive and negative. So, balikan natin yung code. Ito yung ating minimum reinforcement. So, yung minimum reinforcement natin ay ito. So, for deformed wells less than 420 megapascal yung Fy. So, ito yung AS min natin. 0.002 AG lang. So, AS min 0.002 AG. Then, yung AG natin can be computed using B times H. So, yung height or thickness na ng ating slab. of slab. So, computing the AS minimum, this is equivalent to 0.002 times 1 meter strip times yung ating slab thickness ay 125. So, therefore, AS min natin ay 250 mm squared. So, ito yung minimum kailangan natin provide. So, to check in positive moment, yung AS required natin, tsaka yung sa negative, yan, negative. So, yung AS required dito, yan, yung AS required natin 123 lang. Doon sa kabila naman 174. So, this is less than the AS minimum natin. So, same also in this case. This is less than to AS minimum. So, therefore, use AS, no? AS minimum as the required AS natin. That is equivalent to 250 mm squared. Okay, next. After determining the S minimum, then pwede na tayo mag-compute ng ating required spacing. No? Okay. Next. So to compute yung ating spacing, S is equivalent to, that is A bar over AS times 1,000. So sabi natin yung A bar, that's the area of your reinforcement. So assuming that yung diameter ng bar natin ay 12 mm. So S is equivalent sa so positive, no? Both positive and negative. Actually, pareho lang naman yung positive tsaka negative natin. So wala tayong magiging problema. Isa lang yung magiging sagot. Pero for the sake of discussion, discuss natin pareho. So I over 4 times 12 squared divided by AS dito is 250. Diba? Sabi natin use 250. Multiply by 1,000. So ito yung ating spacing. Negative, positive. And dito naman, for negative, divided by 250 times 1,000. Therefore, yung ating spacing, required spacing ay 452.39 mm. So, pareho lang din dito. After determining this required spacing, i-check natin sa check minimum spacing. Minimum spacing natin, sabi natin that is 25 mm tapos dB, which is 12 mm then. And then 1/3 of diameter of aggregate. Assuming this value is approximately equivalent sa 25 mm. So both positive and negative naman ay greater than, no? Sa lahat dito. So they are greater than, no? These three ay greater than sa, or they are less than, no? Rather, they are less than. They are less than do sa S required natin. Yung S required natin is 452.39 mm. So therefore, okay siya for minimum spacing. Okay, next, check natin siya sa maximum required spacing natin. Maximum spacing. Ang maximum spacing natin requirement, S max, that is equivalent to 3H tsaka 450 mm. So, yung sa H natin, that is the thickness of the slab, that's 125. So, this is equivalent sa 375 So, mag-govern sa S-max natin yung pinakamaliit. So, ito yung mag-govern as S-maximum natin. So, yung ating S-maximum is less than ito sa S-required. No? S-required natin, that is equivalent to 452.39. So, syempre, sabi natin, pagka maximum, so hindi tayo pwedeng sumobra dyan. Eh, yung ating S-required ay sobra na. So, therefore, ang gagamit nating spacing, so use S. So, ito, not okay ito, no? Not okay kasi nga, sobra na yung ating required. So, hanggang spacing lang natin ay 375 m. So, ito ay both positive and negative moment na. Okay, so after checking the required spacing, then we are done already. So, ang gagawin na natin, ilalagay natin, no? Final answer, sabi natin, no, use 12 mm diameter space uh, at 375 mm on center. Okay? Ito ay main bar. Lalagyan natin main bar. Okay? Or main reinforcement. So, ito yung final answer natin for this question. But we're not yet done kasi kailangan natin mag-provide ng temperature bar pagka one-way slab. So, we need to provide um, yung ating temperature bar. So, ito yung main bar. Next, so mag-compute naman tayo no, ng temperature bar. Pag-compute naman ng temperature bar, no, pwede na tayo dumiretso sa AS temp natin or AS temperature bar. So, ang pag-compute lang natin no, using the minimum required reinforcement, 0.002 no, times AG. Okay? Kasi since yung FY natin ay less than sa 420 megapascal. So, yan yung gagamitin natin. So, actually, they are the same. Dun sa gross area natin kanina, 1,000 times 125. So, ito ay 250 mm squared. So, after computing that, we can compute now for the S temperature, required spacing for the temperature bar. So, that is A bar over AS temp times 1,000. So, ito ay equivalent sa pi over 4 times 12 square. Sabi natin, pare-pareho na yung sizes ng ating reinforcement. Tapos, divided by 250 times 1,000. So, therefore, value natin dito ay pareho lang din dito. That is 452.13. Okay, so after determining the S temperature requirement, so check natin sa S minimum. No? S minimum natin, that's equivalent to, kung based from this, so yung minimum natin ay, yung pinakamalaki dito, no, yung 25 mm. Lagyan natin 25 mm. And then yung S maximum naman natin ay 375. So therefore, uh, yung ating S temperature or that is greater than to S minimum. So okay ito. But yung ating S temperature ay greater than din sa S maximum natin. So therefore, use S that is equivalent to 375 mm for temperature bar. Okay, so lagi lang natin, no, yung final answer, use uh, 12 mm diameter bar uh, temperature bar. No? Lagyan natin 12 mm temperature bar space, space. At 375 mm on center. So, ito na yung pinaka-final answer natin for the temperature. And this is the complete design ng ating one-way slab. Ganito. Ito hindi pa rin maganda. Okay, so ganito yung ating magiging reinforcement. Okay, and parallel lang naman yan. Sabi natin yung spacing nito, no? Ay at 375 on cent. Yan. So, lagyan natin siya ng ganyan, no? Hindi ko na-drawing lahat, na. So, 25 mm diameter space. Mm on cent. Okay? That is the main bar. And then yung temperature bar naman, ganito. Lalagay tayo ng baka na ganyan. All throughout na yan, no? Temperature bar. Again, this is just um, representation lang, but this is not the actual or yung correct spacing. This is just representation lang ng ating temperature bar kung paano siya i-lay out. Ito ay 12 mm diameter temperature bar. Space at 375 mm on center. So this is now the final design ng